Ladies and gentlemen, after 53 years, the New York Knicks are once again NBA champions, and they had one of the greatest playoff runs of all time. All right, they've got top 10 best record in the playoffs ever. They went 16-3. They went 16-3 in the playoffs. They only lost 3 games by a total of 6 points. They dominated. They dominated the Eastern Conference. They dominated Atlanta. They dominated Philly. They swept them. They dominated Cleveland. They swept them. Practically undefeated on the road. I think they only lost, maybe one road game. All right. They went into San Antonio 3 times in a row and won. All right, everyone was saying whoever wins the Western Conference Finals is going to win the championship. That's what everybody was saying. The real NBA Finals is the Thunder versus the Spurs because the East is weak. The Knicks don't got a chance. It doesn't matter how good the Knicks play. They're going to lose to either the Spurs or the Thunder. And the Spurs came out the winners of the Western Conference Finals. And what did they do? They lost to the Knicks in the finals. The New York Knicks, who basically this entire Jalen Brunson era has been Knicks players and the Knicks organization proving people wrong. Time and time again. Time and time again, they have done it. And they did it in the NBA Finals. They did it in the NBA Finals. The Knicks, who people, a lot of people didn't take the Knicks seriously as title contenders, despite the fact they're a really good team. The people weren't taking the Knicks seriously going into the finals after they had dominated the East. They didn't just get out of the East. They didn't just make it out of the East. They steamrolled the Eastern Conference en route to the NBA Finals. And some people said Spurs in 4. Some people said Spurs in 4. And I was thinking that was crazy. Legitimately, I thought it was more likely to be Knicks in 4 than Spurs in 4 because of how great the Knicks were playing. All right. I'm like, there's no way the Knicks are going to get swept. There's absolutely no way. All right. I thought Knicks in 4 was more likely than Knicks in 6. That's how good the Knicks were playing. All right, I seriously could not believe how much people were doubting New York. And they got to the finals. They got to the finals, and they repeatedly down double-digit points. Literally every single game. Every single game they had, they were down double-digit points to the Spurs at one point or another. And 4 of those 5 games, they came back and won it, including the greatest finals comeback in the history of basketball. Down 29 points in the Garden. 29 points in the Garden. And they came back and they won it. And it was absolutely amazing. And then Game 5, where they scored 13 points in the first quarter, just 13 points. Jalen Brunson said he's going to put the team on his back. The Knicks were playing bad, and Jalen Brunson, Captain Clutch, puts the team on his back. He scored 16 points in the second quarter, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe that's how much he scored in the first half. Either way, he was on fire. Jalen Brunson was on fire. He was unstoppable. He was unguardable. He was a man on a mission. Scored 45 points in Game 5. He shot over 50%, if I'm not mistaken. 45 points. That was one of the most inspired performances that I've seen. All right, that is a guy who went out there and said, I'm not playing another game this season. The season ends today. It's ending in San Antonio. It's ending with the Knicks getting a championship. That is like I'm watching Brunson in the third quarter, and that is exactly the type of energy that he was giving off with how relentless he was with his scoring. His will to win, bro. His will to win. His desire to win was on full display, and it was incredible to watch. And he got the Finals MVP. He got the Finals MVP. Brunson, as again, this entire Jalen Brunson era of the Knicks has been Knicks players and the Knicks organization proving people wrong, and no one has proved anybody wrong. No one has proved everybody wrong more than Jalen Brunson. A second round pick. A second round pick. Who, when he went to New York, everyone thought they overpaid, and that overpay quickly turned into an underpay. He becomes an all-star. He becomes all-NBA. He becomes the captain of the team. He takes a $113 million pay cut. And people were questioning that because it's like, oh, this guy's losing out on $113 million to contend for the Knicks. Well, the Knicks aren't going to contend. They're never going to win a championship. And they did it. They did it. People were doubting Jalen Brunson coming to New York. They doubted that even after he became a star player in New York, that they could win a championship. And now they've done it. They've done it, and Jalen Brunson gets the Finals MVP. Jalen Brunson's won 3 MVPs this season, y'all. He won the NBA Cup MVP. He won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and he won the Finals MVP. 3 MVPs in one season for Jalen Brunson. An incredible season for him. OG Anunoby played fantastic in the NBA Finals. Played fantastic all postseason. All postseason. OG Anunoby played like a superstar. He played like a superstar. Karl Anthony Towns. A lot of people done said, you know, can a team win a championship with Karl Anthony Towns as their starting center, as their number 1, number 2 option? Karl Anthony Towns, in a lot of games in this postseason, was absolutely fantastic. Now, Game 5 of the finals, the brother had more fouls than he had points, but that's besides the point. You know, because he was fantastic. Game 1 of the finals, Game 2 of the finals, he was great, absolutely great. And you know, and a lot of the reason the Knicks were blowing out teams in the Eastern Conference is because of how great Karl Anthony Towns was playing. You got Mikal Bridges, man. Mikal Bridges, who had some very, very good games in the playoffs. A 20-point game in the finals. And, you know, a lot of people, when the Knicks traded 5 first-round picks for Bridges, thought it was too much for Mikal Bridges. But I don't think you can say now that given the fact the Knicks have won a championship with Mikal Bridges as a starter, averaging 10 points in the finals, providing what he provides to the game, that it was an overpay. It ain't an overpay if they won. And they won. The Knicks won it. Josh Hart played pretty good in a lot of games as well. I mean, you could just say that about everybody. A lot of these guys, no one really wasn't good for the Knicks in the playoffs. Nobody really wasn't good. Mitchell Robinson was great. Landry Shamet had some, you know, Landry Shamet, that brother was like 11 for 12 from 3 in the conference finals. Jose Alvarado. Who did they trade? What did they trade for Jose Alvarado? Jose Alvarado was a big reason that the Knicks came back in Game 4, came back from 29 points. What did they trade for him? A stick of gum? Like, seriously, what did the Knicks give up for Jose Alvarado? I can't even remember, but it must have not been much. Deuce McBride. Man, shout out Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson. They're the only guys on this team that were drafted to the Knicks. Deuce McBride had some good games. And, man, it's just an incredible finals run for the Knicks, an incredible playoff run for the Knicks. And, you know, just absolutely amazing. And this run, they proved a lot of people wrong. They proved a lot of people wrong with this playoff run and this championship. So now, after 53 years, and most of the last 25 years being completely awful for the Knicks, they are finally, once again, the NBA champions.